Madam President.
Yes, sir.
If I might ask Mr. Craig, Mrs. already raised several questions in her comments, and the one that I would ask you to speak to briefly, if you have a brief answer, is page 2 of her handout. Certainly paints a situation or a trend that would concern one. Is there some answer to that, some response to that that's fairly brief that would make everyone feel more at ease about that situation?
I mean, I'm not sure where the numbers came from. The discussion we had the other day was related to, or tied back to audit. Financial statements for the most part, with the exception of where I broke out the individual fund sources. I would say, though, that in a fund presentation, oftentimes you may have debt proceeds come in one year, you have a big spike in revenue, or depending on how it's accounted for, oftentimes that's another financing source that would not be in revenue. But then you have out the next 3 years. Say, for example, we borrowed $70 million in 2005. It showed up as a funding source in 2005 or 6. I can't remember. The next following years, all you're going to see is negatives from a total fund perspective. That's really kind of the nature of that presentation. One of the things about the fund presentation, we talked about this the other night, why I think the GASB board put in the business model also, is really to take out some of those effects. For example, in a fund presentation, not only does your capital expenditure show as an expense, something that's going to serve the system for 40 to 50 years, but it shows that as a one-time annual expense. It also shows the related debt as an expenditure too. So that's you got to take that in consideration when you're doing your analysis of that. I don't know that that's the source of the difference here. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Well, the picture that these numbers would paint is that we're going broke real fast, spending money a whole lot faster than it's coming in, and that we're going to be out of money real soon. Is that?
Well, that was the point I was trying to make the other night, is that the trend has been positive, and I tried to give you various analytical viewpoints of that, from an unrestricted fund, from a total fund presentation, from a net asset or a business type reporting perspective, and then also one in which our state has us. They have a separate reporting basis that doesn't include that accrual that I told you about, the salary and benefit accrual, that really skews or can be misleading. And all those trends were upward.
I guess my question would be then, is there a chance, I mean, we are looking at this, is there a way that we, or you could provide us, and I know the numbers are already there, but maybe in a form, what 2004, 2005, 2006 revenues versus expenditures? I mean, that's something next
for the entire entity.
Yeah,
because that's where you have some of those
exactly
skewed.
I mean, I think we've got a lot of questions that's been asked, and I think one way you just need to go ahead and answer.
Well, that was it on 29A. That was 29A basically provided that.
29A, what section?
I mean, it really.
My point here is, I don't want members of the community to become alarmed, concerned unnecessarily. If there's a real financial problem, we sure all want to know about it so it can be addressed. But if there isn't, I think we need to explain and discuss this very quickly, not necessarily this minute, but very soon, and make sure the information is publicized so that we don't create some problem in the minds of people that really should not be there. And I appreciate Mrs. Hodo coming forward tonight and discussing this and bringing it up. And it seems clear that to her and to many ordinary citizens like me who keep books based on what comes in and what goes out, it paints a dark picture. But I hear what you're saying, that that's not really how municipal finance works, because there's so many other sources of money that affect the bottom line and affect your ability to take care of your debts. But I just would urge you to put some thought to this and very quickly disseminate some information, not only to us, but to the public.
Tom, if you look on 29A, it kind of illustrates the point. If you're looking at other financing source section, there's 3 bond issues there. You can see in proceeds from borrowings. Those are not in the total revenue numbers. But the offset is in effect in the bottom numbers twice, because you're showing the capital outlay and you're also showing the debt service. So that's just a function of that fund presentation. Something that's not in revenues, but it is in expenditures. To some extent, it's arguable that they're in there twice.
Well, these numbers don't.
These numbers don't add up with these.
They don't say the same thing.
I'm sure were these.
I think that's what Mr. Craig was saying a while ago, you have to look and see.
Is this something that we can share with Mrs. Hodow? This page right here? She's still here? You still here? Okay.
All the way in the back there.
I'm
There's-
happy to call her.
Okay.
We can talk.
Your numbers on your page aren't the same as the numbers on these reports.
Right. That's what
I
I
got
said.
them off the internet from HC.
HBTC?
No.
Oh, from,
They were based on budget numbers.
You
They
should
were
look at
based
the
on
Hoover
state
City School
department.
website.
I could not find those numbers on the Hoover City School website where it had the total revenue and the total expenditures. I didn't want to have numbers where we would have, oh, this fund isn't in, or it doesn't count this. I wanted total revenue versus total expenditure.
Okay,
And
and
this was the only information that I could find available
I think-
online that gave you total.
I think the reporting is more complicated than that, and I think that's what Mr. Craig is outlining.
We can talk. I'll
Is
give Ms.
that-
Hodow a call.
so-
We'll talk tomorrow.